I'm Samuel Odi, and how is your day going? And thank you for tuning in this hour and for giving the date with us on the program Midday Discourse. On today's edition, we'll be looking at the planned nationwide protests, and then we'll be looking at the economic impact on protests. What would happen if this protest does happen? We will be focusing more around small-scale businesses, looking at the fact that due to the economic crunch that we're having right now, a lot of businesses have been crumbling, and some businesses had to fold because they couldn't keep up with the current inflation rate and the cost of things. And a whole lot of persons have deeply complained a lot about the fuel price, and that has affected business so much. And then all of this has spiked up to the reason why thousands and thousands of Nigerian youths are planning to embark on the streets to, air their concern and hope that the renewed hope agenda would renew their hope in terms of meeting their demands. They have actually released a 15 demand. They made a list that comprises of 15 different demands that they are hoping that the president would, attend to swiftly. And looking at on that note, some persons have actually come out to say if the president would just do one out of those 15, demands, that they will definitely take their bags and head back home, which is cut down the price of fuel. It's for everyone that voted for this current administration. You have the right under the law to protest against or for what the president is doing, in the sense that if you feel that, okay, he promised some certain things, probably providing a whole lot of jobs, and that is not being done, you have the right to come out and say, okay, Mr. President, we actually know you're doing so much, but we want you to create more jobs at this note. But that needs to be done under the law. And again, one of the protesters or leaders per se of this protest, Take It Back movement, have actually written a letter demanding or requesting that the FCT minister grants them the Eagle Square for use on the 1st of August for their protest. So I'll be bringing you up to speed to what has happened during this past weekend, and then the report that was given by them. The organizers of the planned hunger protest in Abuja have told the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, that there is nothing that would stop them from using the Eagle Square. Recall that the group Take It Back movement had written to the minister requesting the use of the Eagle Square for the protest on August 1st, as well as provision of security and utilities for duration of the protest. In its letter signed by its Director of Mobilization, Damilari Adeola, on Friday, the group also stated that the minister must ensure the provision of a 24-hour power supply, toilet facilities, water and security for convenience for Nigerians citizens who will be camped at the Eagle Square. However, the minister stated that protesters who wish to use the Eagle Square must apply properly, pay security costs for their scheduled protests in the FCT. This is what Nyesom Wike has come out to pay, because definitely we all know that the Eagle Square is a public property, and obviously a certain fee must be paid. And then this movement, that is Take It Back movement, have actually come out to say that Nigerian youth are clamoring for jobs and that they are not ready or having the outrageous amount being said to pay for the facility that they want to use for the protest. On that note, today I'll be introducing my guests who would help us make sense of all of this cry that has been going on in Nigeria for the past 2 weeks. Some have been for and some have been against the planned protest that is scheduled to kick off on the 1st of August 2024. My guest at this time is Mr. Dari Balogun, the National Publicity Secretary for Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard. That's BAT Vanguard. Mr. Balogun, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the program.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. So what is, for the past 2 weeks, there have been a whole lot of cry for people saying they want to protest. Some are for and some are against. Do you think that the youths are actually right by wanting to go ahead with this protest?
Yeah, under our constitution, everyone has right to protest on any government policy that he or she or group of people are not happy with. The constitution allows protest, but that protest must be a peaceful protest. What even the government in power considered to that.
Yes.
This Inspector General of Police has spoken to that severally, that it is their right to protest.
Yes.
And in fact, I have never seen in our recent history, a professional IGP, Inspector General of Police, like the one we have now. He has told the protester that, yes, it is your right, but let us know the route that you want to take and the place that you want to gather, so that the police, who is also empowered by the Constitution to provide security, to ensure that the protest does not turn violent, will be able to take the necessary step to ensure that.
Okay.
So everyone, both the government, we agree that everyone, or those who are agitating take back movement, that they have the right to protest.
Yes.
But that right, it is not absolute right. They have the responsibility to ensure that that protest does not turn violent. What we hate, what we are speaking against, is the violent protest that lead to destruction, that bring no profit, no gain, no benefit.
Yeah.
The essence of protest, to me, is to ensure that government react to whatever is their grievances and address. As long as to that, we are in support.
Yeah. Okay. Looking at it now, the IG, like you made mention of the IG of police. Now, the IG of police has actually also said that, the protest must end at 4 p.m. So now, is this time clause now? Do you think it's enough time for Nigerians to youth, most especially because they are the one that are fronting all of this protest of hashtag Ed Bad Governance? That's what they are agitating for. So, do you think this time frame now is going to be a constraint for them to actually express themselves very well?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The 4 p.m. is the closing time for civil servants.
Okay.
And whatever you want to do from 8 a.m. or 7, as the case may be, till that 4, I think is enough. And they have given 10 days or so that's going to start on the 1st down to on the 10th. So whatever you start by 8 a.m. or 7:30 in the morning, and you do it till 4 p.m. Because why the IGP is saying that? Because in the night, you don't know, there's a problem that night does not know anyone.
Yeah.
So it's to ensure that this thing is peaceful for everyone.
Yes. So, we are actually going to look at, most of the hiccups that we might face, in terms of this, which is obviously going to boil down to Nigerian economy, since we are struggling to revamp. And Mr. President, on his other end, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is doing so much more to see the Nigerian economy gets back to what it used to be. So what's its key now for all of this? What are the short-term and long-term economic consequences that this protest might cause or incur on small-scale businesses? If
we check all the protests that we have witnessed in Nigeria, there is no single one that brings positive result. No single one. In the most recent, 2012, the one we had, if you check our GDP rate at that time, it was. But isn't protest meant to, bring about positive change? I'm just telling you, the way we have in 2012, if all the protests we've been having in Nigeria, there is no one has brought positive change. In fact, it damaged our economy the more. It destroyed our economy the more. Even the recent one, 2020, the same thing. Go and check the our GDP rate in 2018, before that 2021, and the one of 2021. The 2020 was in manners. Yes. So all the protests we have gotten in this country, will be having in this country, have brought us backward. And that's why the government in power is telling those who are the organizer that we've heard you loud and clear. And government has started taking steps. Government just addressed the issue of minimum wage. Yes. And by this week, either today now, it will be signed to law. It has already been passed in the National Assembly. Government has also, for the interim, to address the scarcity and the high cost of food items, government has ordered importation for 6 months now. And that government has, both private and government is going to engage in importation, and government has waived import duty in those importation, so that the prices of good items, food items, will go down. Government is mindful of those. The government is aware. Government is aware. The challenge we have is that our economy is a consumer economy, and that is not the creation of this government. We are not producing. We are not producing. So we should go back to farm, because we should produce what we are eating. If we are producing, what is our business with dollar? And we have dollarized our economy. And this government has come and has taken steps to address all this. Just 2 months ago or 3 months ago, he launched 1,000 tractors in Niger State for mechanized. It has not happened in the history of this country. Mechanized farming, so that by the time we produce more than what we need, we'll be able to export and generate more dollar. Our problem is that it's only crude that is given us, and it's limited. How much dollar are we generating that to sustain? Do you know that more than 40% of the dollar demand of Nigeria are going for importation of petroleum alone? More than 40%. People don't know this. I had people, I've interacted before I came here. I had people saying that government removes subsidy. What of the money saved? I just laugh at them. There is no money saved from subsidy removal, because government was borrowing to sustain the subsidy regime. And by removing the subsidy now, that means they will not borrow that money. That does not mean they save. There is no money to save. They were borrowing before, and the government before this government has over-borrowed to the extent that 97% of our income as a nation is being devoted for debt servicing. 97.
Okay.
So what can you do?
We'll be going on a very, very quick break, and then when we come back, we would get deep to the core of this conversation on Midday Discourse. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back. A million thanks for staying with us. And if you're just joining, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi, and we've been having an interesting conversation with Dari Balogun, who is live here in the studio with me. Mr. Dari, you made mention of 1,000 tractors being, sent to Niger State by this current administration. Sadly, Niger State was one of the states that was hit so much during the time that insurgency was on a very, very high. How key is it that, and we've known the Niger State governor, AKA, has a nickname as the farming governor. How key is it that this tractors that have been supplied to them is actually going to be used for the need of providing more food for the country at large?
That is the focus of this Tinubu government to ensure that we are secure as a nation in terms of food, that we are secure security-wise, that we are secure employment-wise, that we are secure medical-wise. And that's all these are part of what is Renew Hope agenda all about. The Tratos 1000 that I mentioned that was launched about 2 months ago in Niger State is to commence the first mechanized farming in Nigeria. And Lagos State came to Niger State to sign MOU with them that we have mass market, over 22 million people in Lagos State, that we need to feed them.
Yes.
And that whatever that we are going to be producing here, you have a ready-made market in Lagos.
Waiting already.
Yes, waiting. And not only that, that Lagos State will also support with money. It has never happened. We have massive wheat cultivation in Jigawa, in Kebbi, rice. By the time all these are harvested, they harvest in another 2-3 months now, the harvest will come.
Yes.
And that's why, if we recall, Mr. President promised us that by December, we'll be smiling, that Nigeria will start smiling by December. He said it.
You know, looking at this now, a whole lot is going on, obviously, because a whole lot of planting is happening at this time.
Yes.
And then we are hoping to see and then yield a lot of crops at the end of the day. But now, how do we settle the issue of insecurities in these rural communities? Because looking at the facts now, we have a whole lot of internal displaced persons who can go back to their homes, and then which they do normally is, and what they do normally is to farm. So how do the government now handle those issues? Because in the coming months now, probably the whole insecurity thing has died down a little. So when it's key time now for them to go get those produce, how important is it for security agencies now to be able to make sure that the lives and properties and the produce of these people now is secure and then delivered to the country at large?
Just about 3 or 4 days ago, I was listening to Inspector General of Police when he came out with fact and figure data that all over Nigeria that the security challenge has gone down.
Because this is one of the things that this
brought out that has gone down. This government, no government emphasize and focus on issue of security more than this government. And the moment he came in, he directed both police and the army to recruit, to multiply the number of what they are recruiting yearly by 3. Police are recruiting 30,000 to go instead of 10,000 under Buhari. The same thing, Nigeria army. All this effort is to ensure that we end the banditry, the kidnapping, and insecurity that we have in our land. So give it to this government, and with time, we will see the end of those insecurity.
Yes, you made mention earlier about protests not yielding to so much, in the time past. Now,
yes.
The labor union and TUC was actually emerged after a certain time in the late 80s and early 90s, where they protested that workers are not being treated fairly, and then they protested and agitated for a union which, under the law is being signed. And then that good fight that was fought back in the day is what's leading to the fact that we have civil servants who can be able to come out and cry out when they feel some certain things are not being done properly, just like the recent issue we had about the increment in minimum wage. So at this point now, if this has yield results before, why do you think that it's not going to yield another result at this time? No,
the labor agitation is different from
end bad governance,
or NSAS and all those. Is different. Even the protest in 2012 is different. Labor agitation has always been peaceful, and it will draw government attention that has to do with welfare and salary and promotion. These are their own agitation. That is their right to do, and they know how to do it. And it has been. In fact, they will not even come to work. It's strike. It's strike. Maybe before the strike, they do rally, and the rally has been peaceful. I've been in Abuja over 23 years, so and I know what I'm talking about. There is no labor agitation or rally or protest that has led to violence. In fact, nobody will scare. The kind of look at what we saw in ENSA, the destruction. How many, what do they call it? this mass transit.
Transit.
Yes, that they burn in Lagos. Hospital that they burn in Lagos. Police station that they burn in Lagos. Market that they burn in Lagos. The looting rather that took place. These are the things we are talking about.
Okay.
That bring us back. Affect, and even when you are protesting, your contribution to the economy is denied. You leave your job. You affect other people too. A lot of the day are living by the day, and those people under protest, under situation, they won't be able to do what will earn them money to feed their family. So all these things contribute negatively to our economy. That's what we are talking about. Yeah. That this strike, as you have made your point, and as far as the hunger in the land, nobody will deny that. Nobody will deny that.
How key is it now for that is PMS price now, actual pump price now, which is around NNPC sells for 617, while different other petroleum stations have their own prices. So how key is it going to be now for this fuel price now to come down lower in terms of this protest being happening?
The protest cannot achieve anything as far as the fuel price is concerned. Okay. In fact, even the organizer of the protest, they have missed it. If, apart from the hunger they measure, which they get rightly, all other, they miss it.
You know, they also made mention of the constitution as well, being scrapped.
You are calling for anarchy. If you scrap the constitution, what are we going to use to govern ourselves? That is anarchy. Okay. That is a state of anarchy. Nobody can do that now. How do you scrap the constitution? We can amend the constitution. If you have any challenge with any provision of the constitution, you bring it out. It will be amended. Okay. For example, under the immediate past government, the issue of power, that what brought us to darkness and we are, that it was in an exclusive list. Yes. State government, local government, and individual cannot operate. That is the meaning. Only federal government. Even state government as powerful, as big as any state, or as rich as any state. Lagos State, for example, they don't have the constitutional power to go into the generation and distribution of power. But they amended the constitution. This president came and he signed it to law, electricity bill. He signed it, it has become law that an individual can generate now. No talk of state government, no talk of local government. It's only at the purview of the federal government alone. These are the things that we can do to change anything in the constitution that we feel that is causing hindering our progress as a nation. Yeah. For example, the issue of security now, we've not addressed that. It's still on the exclusive list instead of concurrent list. So we need to send bill to National Assembly to ensure that the issue of security is taken out of the exclusive list to concurrent list. Okay. So that state government can also operate and have state police for proper policing in Nigeria. The issue of petrol price that you're talking about, the only thing that can break it down is when we have local refinery, when we are refining. For example, Dangote promise of coming aboard on the latest 10 of next month. And he has proposed 450 naira.
But there's been a bit of back and forth between Dangote refinery and the NNPC.
Yes. The challenge that Dangote came to the media space or public space to raise the alarm that they are denying crude, the IOC, the International Oil Company in Nigeria. You know, this thing is politics. There's international dimension to it. There are some people, the wells and what have you, that they want to keep Nigeria as their market. We must face it. And they are working, using their power and using some sabotage in Nigeria to achieve their aim. So they are the owner of IOC, and they instructed them not to supply crude to Dangote. But Mr. President, when we haven't had that, he summoned them and he gave a directive. He had a meeting with them and gave a directive that they should supply crude to Dangote. So that has been resolved. That has been resolved. So Dangote is going to get a steady supply. Because as a nation, Dangote refinery is our national security asset.
Okay.
We must protect it.
You know, aside Dangote refinery, we have other refineries. At least, okay, we have that of Dangote, which is very, very active now.
660,000 barrels per day capacity.
We also have
even more than what we need our requirement.
So we have one in Kaduna State, we have one in Port Harcourt, and one again.
We have two in Port Harcourt.
Two in Port
We have Port Harcourt 1 and 2. The two together up to 250,000 barrels per day.
So how key is it going to be now for, you know, because we kept, before the Dangote refinery came into light,
yes,
we've been hearing a whole lot of reports and stories saying in the next couple of months, in the next 2 months, the Port Harcourt refinery will be ready. You know, all of this has been coming all the way from a very, very long time, even that which is in Kaduna. But now, all of that has not come to light, and then we're buying fuel, what we have, at a high cost. So these protesters now, are they wrong?
They are not talking about it.
They're actually talking about
the only one that I saw in their demand was that the fuel price should be reversed to 100 naira.
Which is
how possible? How realistic is that?
Which is one of the reasons.
No, how realistic is that? 100 naira. They are not being sincere now.
But at least I know they technically, you know, it's obviously might not be able to go back to 100 naira, but it should be reduced. That's what they are crying for.
I've just told you that Dangote is proposing 450 to the independent marketer. 450 naira per this day. Okay. And by the time those people buy from him and they take it to their station and they want to say at most 500, 550. Okay. He has achieved that in diesel. Okay. When before diesel market, it was 1,800 in the market.
Yes.
By the time he came, he brought it down to 1,000. Okay. Look at the gap.
Yes.
He has achieved it already. Okay. That was about 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
So we expect the same thing to happen in the petroleum price.
Okay, we would be going on another quick break, and then when we come back, Midday Discourse continues as we continue to x-ray the importance and then the economic impact of this protest if it does open come August 1st, 2024. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Frankly speaking, it is now time for Nigerians to see that global TV has come and has come to stay.
Just 1 year. This is a plus for global television.
My take on global TV presence on DSTV, first of all, I must say is a great feat. And in this new age, it takes technology to take over. I believe that global TV coming into the arena will change the context of international broadcasting in Nigeria.
But I believe that global TV has come not just to give us anything but the truth and the valued information that we need at hand.
I think global TV presence will make a very great difference among all the channels. Their presence now on DSTV stations is going to make a very lot of difference among others.
Really believe with the pedigree and the reputation Global TV has gathered for themselves for the last 1 year of their being in existence and being in operation, they are really going to change, have a lot of impact on the digital perspective of TV broadcasting.
New height with this new feat, you are actually going to make us proud, especially within the content that you are delivering for the Nigerian people.
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
Many thanks for staying with us and welcome back. So, we've been having a very good conversation about this protest and what negative impact is going to pose on Nigerian economy if it does happen. So we just hope that, everybody stays calm and, watch what the government and see how quick they are going to respond to all of these demands that is feasible and that can be attended to swiftly. So on that note, now we'll still be moving forward to know how far, because we're trying to see how it's going to affect Nigerian, the impact it's going to have on Nigerian economy if it does happen. Now, let's look at this now. Let's look at the angle of tourism and investments. Is being projected, even in India, a media outlet in India took it up this morning to say Gen Zs are planning on protesting in Nigeria from August 1st to the 15th of August. So if this does happen now, what threat does it pose to foreign investors and tourists that is looking at Nigeria as a destination place, to visit?
That's why I said earlier that the protest, if it's allowed to hold, or if it's going to be held, that will bring us backward economically as a nation. Because in the last 1 year of Mr. President, he has tried to go to some country to woo investors, investment drive, to ensure that there is a foreign direct inflow to Nigeria that will lead to creation of job and productivity in our nation. So this kind of protest will undermine, we endanger such effort, because no investor want to come to a country where he is not sure of his safety and the safety of his investment. I've just told you a while ago, some companies, even TVC, was touched, was born during the ESAT protest. Some company were looted. ShopRite was looted. Investment burned and damaged. So, appeal to them that yes, we agree with you, there is hunger in the land, and you have made your...
but do you see this protest as a revolution or as just a normal protest?
No, it is revolution for a government that is just 1 year in office. We have a government of 8 years except for ENSAS, that is not even directly to the policy of government. ENSAS is about police brutality and what have you. Yes. So we have a government of 8 years of Buhari. Nobody organized protests.
So do you think it's so?
80% of the people behind the protests is hatred and political, because we contested election with them, we beat them, we defeated them. They went to court, in the court we defeated them, our president defeated them. So instead of them to answer up and wait for 2027, so they are trying all manners of things to ensure that they destroy the government and that the government did not succeed. But they are lying, the government will succeed.
Okay, you think this protest now is being financed and sponsored by the opposition parties?
Political. 80%.
80% political.
Yes, 80%.
How key is this?
Obi has come out to speak in favor of the protest. Atiku has come out to speak in favor of the protest.
Talking about their speech now, that's that of Mr. Gregory Peter Obi, who is the former governor of Anambra State. He said if the protest should carry on or should be made, he said it should be made within the confine of the law and the constitution of Nigeria. But something also, one of the demands that were made is the fact that they are seeking and calling on the president to fire or mostly everybody in the judicial system. How key or how realistic is that?
What are they do? The people in the judicial system, what are they do that would demand the president to fire them? And the president does not even have power to fire any judicial judge. He doesn't. The Constitution, if anyone that misbehaves, that's National Judicial Council, that discipline and do the firing and what have you. It's not in the power, it's not in the hand of the president to do. Okay. It's not in the hand. And every one of them that, for example, maybe a case that you don't have jurisdiction, you assume jurisdiction, or you make an order that is against it's outside your jurisdiction or your right. The NJC, once you petition them, they take it up. And we have seen people that they are forced to retirement, the one that have sacked, the one that have suspended. They have been doing that. So why will anybody now say sack everybody? Does that make sense?
Okay, looking at how can protests now lead to economic reform, because obviously and policies change that might benefit the country at large, because like we rightly said before, protests have led to different angles of protest. So this one is in line with hunger and economic hardship, right? So technically, let's say this is the first of its kind in the country. So if this does happen and then they get to succeed, how key is it that protest now is the way out to get the government to stand on their toes?
The level they have got, even though the government was aware of the hunger and the challenges we have, government was aware, and Mr. President have said this severally, that yes, I'm aware, I call for it, don't pity me, I will address it. Okay. I said it severally, that don't pity me, I asked for this job, I sought for this job, and I've gotten it, it is my duty to address. But it takes time. It takes time, sir.
Okay.
And the presidents have told us that by December this year, about 4 months or 5 months away, that we will start smiling. I heard it from him. So he knows what he's doing, and we can see. For example, the local government autonomy now, by the time the implementation starts, life has been brought back to those tiers of government that before the governor will collect the money, they will sit on it. The government is our problem in this nation. They are not doing anything. They are lazy, lackadaisical. They will collect allocation money. They will just that monthly allocation, and there is that data and figure to show that the naira, the dollar that has gone up against the naira is because of the activity of people in government, really the governor.
Okay.
That as they collect the allocation, they go to black market to go and change for dollar and keep. There is data to you to support it. Economists have come on media space to put it down. So government really are the problem. Okay. But they are all looking at the direction of the president that is doing everything. Like this subsidy that is removed now since Tinubu came on board. Are you aware? Every month we have been sharing over 1 trillion. Before it was also under Buhari 8 years. The highest under Buhari was $650 billion. $1 billion. I mean naira, billion naira.
Yes.
But under Tinubu it has been over 1 trillion. So more money has been going to the state and the local government. What are government doing with those money?
So this money that has been shared now to the state, now are they going in terms of palliatives, or they are going in terms of physical cash?
No. The sharing that they do every month, which is that they will call Mother Jack and this thing, the money is meant for the state to spend for infrastructure, for welfare, for family, to ensure that our nation become productive. But the governor are not doing it.
Is there anybody?
And they are under immunity. There is nothing government president can do.
But are there policies in charge that supervise these monies being given to this government?
The policy that the constitution creates is the state House of Assembly, that is the pocket of the governor. It's the state House of Assembly that have oversight function over the governor and the commissioners. But they are not doing it because it is the governor that will nominate who will go to assembly. So you that is not qualified, governor nominate you, he pay for your nomination form, he pay for the election for you. You can't look his face. You can't do what the constitution has called you to do. That is the challenge we are facing in this country. That is the challenge. You know, we are committing, including the organizer of this protest, what I call categorical imperative, categorical mistake. A person went to the University of Abuja. I want to explain the meaning of categorical mistake.
Okay.
Error. He went to the University of Abuja and they said, this is Department of Science, Social Science, this is the faculty of this is faculty of that, this is VC office, this is admin, this is admission office.
Yes.
He said, yes, this is National Library.
Yeah.
He said, I've seen all those things. He said, where is the university? Forgetting that all those things that you have seen make up the university. The state make up Nigeria. So the distribution of this money to the state that make up Nigeria is to address the issue that the organizer of this protest is calling on president when money has already been distributed. So they should call the governor to order. What are you doing in agriculture in your state, in education in your state, in health in your state? Rather than looking at the direction of Mr. President alone.
Yeah, looking at those angles now, you made mention earlier about the fact that the president has copped out the issue of minimum wage to 70,000.
Yes.
They're looking at the prices of food now. Technically, let's say a family of 3, and that depends solely, and then just their source of income, probably just the man working, and then the wife trying to keep head above water by meaning all the businesses that she's doing. How key is it for this 70,000 naira now to be able to hold on to a household, looking at the current prices of food in the market? The food inflation is at 40.24%, currently in the market. A mudu of beans now is sold for around 3,500. Almost 4,000. A tuber of yam goes for 3,000 to 4,000 naira in the market now. So how does a family now survive on a monthly base with 70,000 naira?
Even the Labour president himself has come out to explain that this 70,000 minimum wage is for levy 1.
Okay.
And in the federal civil service, nobody is on levy 1. Okay. The lowest you see is levy 4. Meaning that nobody will be receiving 70,000. So it's higher.
That means now, is it going to be 70 multiplied by whatever level you are?
So it's higher.
Okay.
So this is level 1.
Okay.
And nobody is on level 1. The least you see is level 4.
Okay.
So he has told us that nobody is going to receive 70,000. So it's going to be more than 70,000.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and again, the other good news about this 70,000 naira is the fact that it's going to be reviewed every 3 years.
Yes.
So we applaud Mr. President on that and for all of these things. So we really, really appreciate. But now let me take one quick question, because the curtain is beginning to close up on us because of time. How efficient now is it going to be now for Mr. President to come out himself, and address Nigerian youths about the current hunger that they are facing?
Yes, I will be in support of that. Mr. President need to address the Nigerian and let them know that he's aware of the hunger in the land and that government is making effort. And I believe, and I've said it here, that government is making effort. And he has told us, he has promised us that if by December that we are going to smile. And the last order he gave, that within 80 days, we want to see that all these things become a thing of the past. So he has given the order already, that within 80 days, he has. In fact, the agric minister, he has told him, and some people like that they are put together. He has put a team together to ensure that this high cost of food item is bring down to
the barest minimum.
Yes, barest minimum. So he is mindful. He is mindful. No, this president loves Nigeria. He loves us. He loves us. In fact, we are happy. I mean, we are lucky to get him at this time of our nation. If not for him, Nigeria will have been declared bankrupt. He said it to himself. Nigeria will have, because of the massive debt that the previous administration put us. It's not because it's APC to APC government. That's why you are not hearing us about it.
Okay. Well, any final words for those that are planning to go ahead with the protest?
Yes, just like our eminent people in Nigeria has appealed to them, the traditional rulers, they came together all over the country to appeal to them. Yes. The religious leader, both Khan and the Islamic body, have come to appeal to them. Even Mr. President himself have appealed to them that yes, you have the right under our constitution to go on protest, but we have asked you because we cannot guarantee whether the protest will be peaceful, going by the nature of the youth and what have you. Yes. So any provocation can lead to destruction that will bring us and that will make even the situation that they are saying that is pitiable more worse than that. So I want to appeal to them that Mr. President have had them loud and clear and that they should give him time. They should engage. Let them come out, engage with Mr. President and bring out your own option, the solution that you think that they think they have, and bring it out on the table. Let us come on the table. The Bible says, let us reason together. This nation is our nation. We want everybody want the best for, except enemy and the enemy of this nation that will not want the best for Nigeria. We are all feeling it now. I'm not happy that a bag of rice has gone as much as 80,000. I'm not happy, and I want Mr. President to do something about it.
How key is it now for youths now to be involved deeply? When I mean deeply, like deeply in the current governance of the country.
How key?
Yes.
For
youth now,
youth.
Yes, to be involved in the leadership of this country.
Look at the appointment that Mr. President have made in the last year, last 1 year.
Yeah.
It's dominated by the youth. Dominated. In fact, somebody was saying yesterday that he will not be surprised if after the second time of Mr. President that he will hand over to the youth. And I see that coming. This is a youth president. You can give it to him. You can give it to him.
Okay, well, that's how much time will permit us to take on today's edition. And a letter to Mr. President, Nigerians are crying that they are hungry, and what they are asking for is for inclusivity in leadership, good governance, and as well a reduction of the fuel price. On that note, we'll be drawing the curtain on today's edition of the program Midday, because I am Samuel Odi. See you all tomorrow.